This is Brandon Rahbar, your host for today, and this is a dispatch from Daily Thunder. Every story, every game, every day. Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I am your host, Brandon Rahbar, beat writer for dailythunder.com. I am joined, as always, by Ryan Woods, contributor to dailythunder.com. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm okay. You know, my moods are mostly predicated on whether the Thunder win or not. And so, but you know what? I'm not that bummed because, like I've said before, the Thunder are playing with house money. They weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. They've already clinched the playoffs. Now it's just a matter of seeding. Probably going to play the Rockets no matter what anyways, so it probably doesn't matter. And, hey, maybe outside chance the Thunder get their first-round draft pick back. So – all that to preface the stupid game that we just watched. The Thunder 92, before this game, Grizzlies 0-4 in the bubble, 121. What were your thoughts?
Well, that was a really optimistic opening. I did not expect that. I thought it was a really disappointing showing from a lot of players individually and just overall as a team. It felt like the first game we've seen where they just didn't give the proper effort, the effort needed to win a game. Obviously the first quarter was electric. They were awesome, hitting everything they looked at, getting in the lane. The first quarter was what you wanted and looked like they were going to coast to a win against even though they were shorthanded, the Grizzlies are without Jaren Jackson. And it just seemed like a game that they were going to roll with how they started out, and that was it. They got housed from there to the end, outplayed, outworked, in just about every way. So disappointing. I do agree with you. It'll probably end up all coming out in the wash of us being in the 4-5 matchup against Houston. And the Jazz, really the only plus, I guess, is that the Jazz are trying their hardest to be sixth. It seems like they're trying to avoid both Houston and Oklahoma City and play Denver. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought it was just in a vacuum a really disappointing effort.
Yeah, it really was. I think it's one of those deals. They just came off beating the Lakers. So there's a high. The Grizzlies hadn't won a single game in the bubble yet. And they came in and they were just killing them. Like you said, in that first quarter, they're up by 18 and just making everything. It just felt like a game where a superior team was just going to kind of throttle a team. And I think they kind of went into coast mode. Plus, the Grizzlies are playing desperate. They still want to make the playoffs. They hadn't won a game. They're getting a lot of crap for it. And they've still got some good players. And so I think that there was a shift, and the Thunder never kind of, got back into that gear. And honestly, I'll tell you what it really comes down to for me. It sounds like an excuse, but the Thunder are good because they have got 5 great players. You know, that closing lineup, when you got CP3, Schroeder, Shea, Gallo, and Adams, 2 of those guys were gone. And we love talking about Baisley and Diallo and Nader and Robertson and all those guys, and it's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, they're young, they're inconsistent or injured, coming back from injury, so they're up and down. And today was a down game for pretty much everybody except for Lou Dort, who I'd put in the good category. I got like him and Noel in like the good category, then 5 great players. But when you miss 2 of your top 5 players, when you're top heavy, it hurts. And so I think that, Noel is a great backup center, but he got bullied by Jonas, and I just don't think that happens with Steven Adams in there.
Sure. The loss of Adams was big today, and obviously I think they're really starting to feel the Schroeder loss. And I do obviously think they would have made a big difference today. Lou played outstanding, so hats off to him. He brought it today. He was hitting shots. He was defending like he always does. It was what you'd want to see, and he's starting to really remind me of Marcus Smart, which is a fantastic profile of a player you want next to Shea going forward. So hats off to him, really getting the shot together. Just about everybody else was just lackluster. I'm really down on Gallo right now. Like the energy doesn't seem there. He seems kind of like he's coasting. Whether the shot falls or not, it seems really lethargic. I don't know. So hopefully that changes going forward. But yeah, like you're saying, Adams and Schroeder make a huge difference in this game.
Yeah, the Thunder are 1-2 without Schroeder now, and I'd said like in an article, I just don't think the Thunder can win without that 3-point guard lineup. I mean, that's the reason they've been so dominant. Obviously, they beat the Lakers; they can win, but they're going to struggle to win without these key guys there. And as much as people don't want to say when somebody's gone, next man up, and all this stuff. I mean, end of the day, it makes a huge difference when you're giving either Schroeder 34 minutes a game or you're giving Diallo 25 minutes and Baisley 30 minutes. I mean, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, it just changes the whole game when Adams or Schroeder are out. But it's funny you mentioned energy with Gallinari, because in the post-game presser, that's what he brought up was energy. He mentioned it 3 times, the lack of energy. But what's also funny is he actually was the only Thunder player with a positive plus-minus. He was a +4, but the thing was he only played 19 minutes. The Thunder have been sizing his minutes down since the bubble started. I'm sure just to keep him fresh for the playoffs. And, with his history of injuries, they don't want to overwork him just to eke out another win or two. They'd rather have him fresh for the playoffs, I'm sure. But, yeah, when you only have Gallo playing 19 minutes, and then Adams and Schroeder are out, and then Shea had his worst game in a Thunder uniform. He just couldn't hit anything, and he was trying to shoot himself out of the slump. So he went away from what makes him good by attacking the basket. He started shooting threes. He was 1 for 8. So then you got only one of those really good 5 players, CP3, who had a good game. Really, him and Dort were the only players tonight who I'd say were really good. And, yes, to tack on, Dort was amazing. I mean, he was offensively, defensively, energy, everything. What I've taken out of the bubble so far is that Dort has taken a leap. He's for real, and I'm excited about Dort's future.
Totally. And it's unfortunate that Shea had this type of game, because I've never seen, and this is including Russell Westbrook, I've never seen a Thunder player look cooler in a Thunder uniform than Shea did today. The blown out hair, the headband, the white accessories under the orange, like it was as good as it gets, and he laid an egg.
Yeah.
So he may have to burn the look, but solid look from Shea, and look good, feel good, play good doesn't always come to fruition, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he really did look great, and I was excited because I like his fro more than I like the braids, although the braids were cool too. But I just thought it looked great, and I don't know. I wonder if he's going to go back to the braids now after that game.
Exactly.
Shea'll be fine though. I'm not worried about Shea. I know I've heard some people talking. He's had 2 bad games in a row. I mean, everybody has a couple bad games in a row, and even his bad games. I would say today was legitimately a bad game. I don't think his game against the Lakers was a bad game. Overall, I think this was a bad game. I'd expect him to rebound over these next couple games.
Yeah, and it just seemed like he became very one-dimensional when he started looking for his shot, and that's always going to play right into a defense's hands that's sagging off of you. You've got to get in the lane at that point, and I do think a lot of his game is predicated on getting those foul calls in the lane, and I think it's been a very encouraging sign as the season's gone on that he's been getting to the line more and more. But when he's not getting those calls, it's now on him to adjust, and it can't just be settling for threes. It's got to be setting the table for others. So I am interested to see his next move going forward, because this was a disappointing game, and I'm sure he'll rebound from it. But yeah, kind of a downer for Shea today.
Yeah, and there's this weird thing he's going through with Schroeder being out. He's kind of picking up more responsibilities and running the team when Schroeder's out, but also trying to get Dort involved and running things and kind of do what Schroeder did, but find his own shot. but playmaking. I'd say for the most part, he's done a good job adjusting to that, except for
Yeah.
today. I mean, today was just a rough game all the way around, and it happens. To me, it's a blip, it's an anomaly, and I sound like Steven Adams trying to say that anomaly. And I think Shea will be fine. I'm still completely on the Shea
And
hype train.
one thing I'm interested to see is once they have those three guards back all together and get that lineup out there, will they put the ball in Shea's hands a little more? Because he has played a ton of off ball as the secondary or even third playmaker in that lineup. I'd be interested to see if they put the ball in his hands a little more and let him create as the first option with a little more shooting and a little more space around him now that he's gotten these reps with guys that are a little less capable around him.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that people are missing in this narrative that, he's struggled these last couple games to run the show or play make or whatever it was these last couple games. When Chris Paul goes out and with no Schroeder in there, the guys he's playing with, I mean, you want to talk about Russ not playing with any space? I mean,
Yeah.
he's playing with Diallo, Baisley, Noel. I mean, guys who are not shooters. I mean, Hervey today, guys who, the defense isn't respecting at all. They were packing the paint, which takes that away from Shea and forcing these guys to shoot. And so the Thunder but they weren't hitting at all.
Right.
Besides the first quarter. So, I mean, Schroeder comes back, Adams come back. It cures a lot of ills. Also, low-key, Muscala being out hurt a lot too because all of a sudden you got two of your three true centers are out, and the Grizzlies are just too big. They won the rebound battle 58-36. I mean, that is huge.
Mm-hmm. And Muscala gives Shea that outlet for when things break down because he does have the ability to stretch it out. So, and Hervey he jacked that one up, didn't he? Like 35 feet in transition. Nobody else even crossed half court yet. He let that thing fly.
Yeah,
I was like, really? Donovan, I was just, as soon as he put the shot up, my eyes went to Donovan. And he had just thrown his head down and just looked over at Mo Cheeks like, did I see that? Did that really just happen? But yeah, he was, I mean, the epitome of shoot your shot.
Yeah. The young guys don't lack in confidence. I'll give them that. Some of them have that Dion Waiters.
So
some of them have that Dion Waiters confidence, though, that maybe they shouldn't. But to me, when you're playing guys like Hervey, Diallo, Baisley, Burton, and Burton got real minutes. Nader got major minutes. You're going to have – I don't care if you're playing the Grizzlies. You're playing a desperate Grizzlies team that still has talent. You're going to have a hard time winning with those guys playing major minutes. I mean, there's just no way around it. And the first quarter was fool's gold because the Thunder could not miss at all. So, to me, this is just one of those like crappy game. You just move on. You don't glean too much from this except Dort looked great, really, for me, because the Thunder aren't going anywhere without Schroeder and Adams anyway. So how do you take much from a game without them in it?
And a big win for Memphis. They're they're trying to stave off these 4 or 5 teams that are coming after that 8 seed and really just trying to get close enough to get that 9 seed and get a play in. And Portland's super hot right now, but Memphis, that's a big win for them. They were, as you said, they were winless in the bubble, and they've got a really tough stretch coming up. So big win for them and their chances to lock up the 8 seed.
Yeah, I hope for their sake that they get at least another win or two. And to me, they were in the 8 coming into the bubble, and I was totally cool with what the NBA did with the 22 teams, and I totally get it. Although I feel like they were trying their hardest to kick Memphis out and get Zion and or Damian Lillard in. And so, for me, I'm kind of rooting for the underdog and hoping that the Grizz get in, but I just don't see it happening. The Blazers are going to get the spot. Let's be real.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, they're playing really, really well right now, and Lillard's taking it to the next level.
Yeah. I kind of hate it because I've enjoyed reposting the Dame waving goodbye meme and kind of talking about how they supposedly kill the franchise and the Thunder in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs, and now they might actually make the playoffs. So it's going to
Yeah.
retroactively ruin all my reverse memes on Dame.
And let's just look down the road a little bit. Let's say they get the 8th seed and pull an upset, and we get out of the 4-5 matchup, and we're sitting there in a rematch, Thunder Blazers all over again. That would be wild.
It would be. And I thought about that because they could – it sounds crazy, but if I were to put money down, I'd say the Thunder and Rockets are going to play in the first round, and I genuinely think that's a toss-up. And I think the Lakers and Blazers are going to play a first round. And while I will definitely choose the Lakers, I would not at all be shocked to see the Blazers upset them. I know everybody made fun of Charles Barkley for saying that, but look at the Lakers play in the bubble and the Blazers play. And yes, the Lakers have less to play for, but even when they had something to play for, they didn't look that great. Their shooting has been awful, like beyond awful. And with the Blazers having Nurkic back, I mean, it could be a series. And if the Thunder play the Blazers in round 2, I like that for the Thunder. I mean, again, I feel like that'd be a coin flip series.
Yeah. And the Lakers, like you're saying, they've clinched the 1 seed, but they're still trying to figure out who they're going to be able to trust with Rondo out. And it seems like a coin flip between J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters. So they certainly have their own questions to answer. So they're a team to watch these last few games because they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with a couple of those guard spots for a lot of minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. These last few days are going to be fun because I could see some teams with resting and kind of trying to manipulate the seeding and try to pick their own matchups, but then other teams countering with that and like, oh, well, I'm going to rest my dudes and try to lose on purpose so I can play the Jazz and all this. It's going to be fascinating to see how it works out. The Thunder, I still feel could end up anywhere 4, 5, or 6. If I had to bet, it's going to be the 5 spot against the Rockets. I just think it's going to happen.
And you got Denver and Utah playing against each other tomorrow, and it looks like both teams are trying to out tank the other.
Yeah.
Both teams are playing like literally the Jazz are playing like 3 or 4 guys at a time that I have never heard of.
Yeah.
And coming from 2 guys that watch basketball a lot, I've never heard of a lot of these Jazz guys.
Well, I'm sure that's what some Grizzlies fans were thinking when Kevin Hervey and Devin Hall and Deontay Burke checked in. There may have been some Thunder fans who wondered who those guys were when they checked in.
Very good. Very good. That's the one. That's the one.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Thunder podcast. Be sure to listen on Sunday and Monday as well. We'll have reactions right after the Wizards and Suns victories, bounce back wins as well. Ryan, thanks for being on the show as always, buddy.
Cheers, brother.